enter one and pass the cloudy door where wonderful things will happen that the world has never seen before.
In Dexter's laboratory lives the dopest nerd you've ever seen. One day he smoked some cannabis and had a dream. What if he could sesh with fandom's best in Dexter's Dab?
Greetings, Nakama, and welcome back to finally another exciting episode of the Nerdy Stoner Podcast with your favorite huggable stoner Dexter, aka Smokey D. Sploofy, aka Stash Tokum, aka the Hufflepuff, aka the Honey Dabber, and aka the Soul Reefer. I have really missed doing that. I am so sorry that it's been so long since I've recorded one of these, especially a character episode. And, we're doing a first here where I'm recording myself on camera doing this instead of just audio. Yeah. But I feel like it's a bit on theme with the character that I am presenting today. But before that, first things first, what the fuck have I been up to? I'm not gonna lie to you, life been lifing, but hey, your boy keep fighting. Um, yeah, just personal stuff going on, figuring shit out, adulting, the usual. But I'm back, and I'm happy to be back. Like I said, it's been too long. Oh, and I got to host my first panel at BlurredCon. It was my first panel ever, actually, and it was so much more than I could have imagined. I mean, the turnout was amazing. People were amazing. Um, the presentation went really well. I even got a video that I put together that I'm posting on YouTube. Yeah. What else? Just it was awesome. The panel was called "In Need of Weed: Black Characters Who Deserve a Toke," because let's face it, we go through some shit and we need it. But yeah, it was, like I said, really fun. I don't know how many times I can say that it was amazing, but it was, and I hope that I can come back next year and do it again. Um, yeah, but anywho, on to our person for today. His name means dark. He is the tough, fearless, and stoic leader of the Black Bulls. He is Mr. Yami Sukehiro himself from the awesome and fantastic anime known as Black Clover. Black Clover was once described to me as Harry Potter meets Naruto, and yeah, couldn't have agreed more. It follows our protagonist, Asta, who is one of the absolute loudest protagonists I have ever seen. Just the way this dude yells, it's you'll see. Just watch the show. But it's really good, and I highly recommend it. Throughout the series, we follow Asta as he is training to become their Hokage, or who is known as the Wizard King, who is the most powerful, respected, and protector of the village slash kingdom. Um, yeah, eventually he joins the ragtag misfit group of outcasts known as the Black Bulls. They all have their quirks, and we love them for it because yeah, they're awesome. That's what makes them them. Um, but no outrageous team would be complete without their great leader, and Yami is definitely one of them. He's one of the greatest leaders and is a force to be reckoned with. Trust me. Those fight scenes are awesome. Um, yeah, and if you dare try to hurt one of his squad members, he will literally kill you. Like, literally. Without hesitation. But this is to say that he doesn't have his softer side. How he puts up with his team's nonsense and shows how much, or just shows how much he cares about them. Um, yeah, he's, like a single dad just trying to take care of his kids and make sure they don't die. He's doing the best that he can. And he's awesome for it. And like any other good dad, he has some words of wisdom for us. And yeah, but before that, let's figure out what we're going to smoke on first, because that's important, you know? Now, Yami is unfortunately another cigarette smoker, so joints are always the good go-to for them because it's easy and quick and gets the job done, you know? As for what we're going to be smoking on, I've chosen a very, very special strain today known as Rare Darkness. Now, according to Leafly, this strain is grown by the company Rare Darkness and is a cross between Rare Darkness number 1 and Grape 8, with deep purple flowers and a thick with 3 C's coating of keefy goodness. It is the perfect strain to have you feeling uplifted and relaxed. And if you're having some trouble sleeping, the sweet grape berry flavors are definitely going to help send you off to a nice and dreamy state. It also may help with migraines and headaches too, so bonus. The dominant terpenes are going to be caryophyllene, myrcene, limonene, which offer the notes of the grape berry sweetness that come along with it. And that can help with, like I said, either having a relaxing evening or a good night's sleep. So if it's in your local dispensary, try it out. Or if you have seeds, grow it. Always encourage people to grow their own shit and provide for themselves, because I don't know about other markets, but the Maryland one is what it is. um, Now, I would absolutely love to smoke inside the Black Bull base, but that place is chaotic as fuck and rarely calms down. We'd be sparking up with luck. We'd be sparking up, and luck and magma would come bursting in, fighting one another. So that's why I think that the forest is going to be a perfect spot. The sun's just starting to go down, and there's, a nice breeze. We find a spot where the trees part the sky is crystal clear, and, sparking up. We start talking about the many battles he and his team have faced and what he's learned from it all. Above all, he's learned that anyone can surpass their preconceived limits. He once said, and, the last part of this he often says, even if you think you might lose, you'll be fine as long as you don't give up. Surpass your limits. Then a path will open up for you. Now, like I said, Yami is constantly saying that to himself and his teammates. He tells them, and that they can surpass their limits, and that, whatever they think isn't possible is definitely possible. Um, he knows he knows what himself and them are capable of. So that's why he, has that reminder. And like when he and Asta were fighting that monster of a villain, Dante, uh, I I know that, yeah. Uh, sorry, ain't edible. So we're just gonna go from here. Anyways, uh, I definitely know that I have been letting my self-perceived and created limits stop me from doing a lot up until now, namely this podcast. uh, to be quite honest with you, for a while now, I've thought that I should give up, stop doing it, because I didn't think that it was good enough. I didn't think it mattered, and that I wasn't doing a good job, and comparing myself to others way too much. Gotta love that good old anxiety and depression combo. But like when Yami was fighting a guy who called himself Despair, I'm cutting through my limits with a dimensional slash. Watch the show, you'll get it. But yeah, those are my limits. What limits have you been placing on yourself lately? Like, why? Like, what's the reason? Maybe even telling yourself that you can't do this, that, or the other as someone else. Either way, I'm telling you that you can do it. Because I know you can surpass your limits right here, right now. Quick question. What is something that you care about? I mean something that you really, 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 really care about. In Black Clover, many of our protagonists have something very deep and important to them they wish to protect. Whether Asta wants to protect his dream of becoming the Wizard King or Noelle wanting to prove her worth to her family, they all have something they hold dear to them, near and dear to them. And, you know, for what they hold dear, Yami once said, protect whatever is precious to you. One day, it'll lead you to protect something else. Now, Asta wanting to become the Wizard King and Noelle wanting to prove herself led them to the Black Bulls, to their found and chosen family that they would do anything to protect. So, again, what do you care about? What are you protecting? For me, uh, might sound a little weird, but I'm protecting myself and my inner child. Yeah, again, might sound a little weird, but I will explain. Uh, I was very skeptical about saying any of this, but my therapist encouraged me to do so, hoping that what I share might inspire or help someone else. Uh, TLDR, your boy's been through some shit growing up, from my mom being locked up for a few years of my life to getting jumped, robbed, and shot at with paintball guns on my way home from school. 3 separate occasions. But because of all that and more, I developed a sort of defense mechanism, if you will. A very don't rock the boat, keep everyone happy, avoid danger mentality. Even if that meant I had to suffer as a result, I was focused on being the nice guy. But I don't want to be that anymore. Not saying I want to be an asshole or anything. I want to be a good guy. And yeah, being the nice guy hasn't really got me very far. And in fact, I can definitely say it has held me back in my life. Held me back from going after opportunities or taking chances because I was afraid of upsetting someone or standing out too much. But no more of that. As my therapist put it, it's time to start making some waves. But I can't make any waves if I'm afraid to even get into the ocean. Um, so be like me, friends. Hop in the water and make some waves because you never know where those waves are going to take you. All right. Power matters, my friends. Whether that be fictional magical power or the power to just get up in the morning. It might not be everything, but everything requires some degree of power. Power to grow, change, and accomplish things. In the Black Clover universe, one's power means everything. Or as Yami put it, in the end, the most important thing about a magical night is magical power. Now, I'm sure that I've said this in past episodes, but it bears repeating. You have power. It may not be the power of a magic knight, a sand, or a devil fruit user, but it is power and it's yours. It is unique to you, and only you can draw out its true and full potential. That's just facts. And the best part about this power is that it can grow, but it can only do as much as you help to make it grow. If there is one thing I have learned from watching anime all these years, it is never to underestimate the power of training. Training is the foundation for learning and improving in any and everything. Want to be a better cook? Get in the kitchen and make some shit. Fuck up? Try again. Same goes for Magic the Gathering, cosplaying, joint rolling. You can get better if you put in the work and stay consistent. And consistency is the key. Trust me, that is a lesson that I am learning. But you'll be surprised to know how much you can grow in 6 months with solid dedication. For Asta, it was about 50 pounds of muscle and some awesome new techniques. So, how much do you think you can grow in 6 months? How about we find out? 6 months from now, I'm going to do a check in and ask you to reflect on what you've accomplished. I'll do the same and, tell you everything that's happened. And then maybe some of you can tell me how you've changed, hopefully for the better. How's that sound? Deal? Deal. Let's be each other's accountability buddies. Now, before we end things, I have one more Yami quote to wrap everything up with. And I think it's something else that also bears repeating. I'm sure that I have, talked about it in a previous episode or two, but it involves a form of vulnerability. Ooh, scary, I know. uh, Something that I struggle with a lot personally is vulnerability. Earlier I mentioned Noelle and how she wanted to prove herself to her family, and she eventually does, you know. But before that, she had to jump over one major hurdle. Like many people, Noelle struggled to rely on others and ask for help in the beginning. But eventually, she saw the value and strength in it and asking for it. Asking someone for help is not a sign of weakness. And in fact, it can be one of the strongest things that anyone ever does. And that's why Yami said to Noelle, I like strong women, you know, but there's nothing wrong with relying on others sometimes, right? Now, I know I mentioned in the last quote that you have power and it's important, but sometimes it isn't enough. Sometimes you need help from others, and that's okay. Some of the strongest people still need help sometimes. That's why we have teams like the Black Bulls, the Avengers, the Power Rangers, the Soul Squad. Each member is great and amazing, and them all together is just, or can be, unstoppable. Um, is there something in your life that you've been struggling with because you refuse to ask for help? What is it? And why don't you want anyone else's help? I know one reason I tend not to ask for help is that I don't want to be a burden or bothersome. But I'm learning that none of that is true. The people who are in my life choose to be in my life, and they love me and are here to help me, and they're here to do that however they can. Many have said so many times, so eventually it's going to sink in for me. But I just need to use my voice and speak up. And maybe this is your sign to, I don't know, ask someone in your life for help. Trust me, it's okay. So, I don't know, pick up the phone, uh, send that message on whatever social media app you use, and yeah, ask for help because it's okay. Like I said, it's okay. Whew. But that does it for this episode of the Nerdy Stoner Podcast. I really, really missed this, and promise I am not going to let another huge chunk of time go in between episodes. This makes me happy, and I'm hoping that it makes someone else happy too. Yeah. Anything else? No future cons planned right now, but I hope everybody that's going to Otakon has fun. Um, I'm definitely going to be doing more interviews with people. So if you would like to talk to me, I'd like to talk to you. Or if you can think of somebody cool that I should talk to, I'd love to talk to you. Yeah, some of my dream people are Danny DeVito, Megan the Stallion, and Bo Burnham. Yeah, those would be awesome. So if somehow they are seeing this, hey, let me talk to you. Yeah. I think that's about it. Yeah. So I think how I usually end this is meditate, medicate, hydrate, and be great. Bye!